Good morning. How is everybody out there? I hope you're doing okay. I hope that you're being as creative as you possibly can. And if not, we're going to inspire you today. So we'll set some new goals. I'm Judy Gula. I'm from Artistic Artifacts, and we are here to inspire you. That is our #1 mission. So we have clothing today, some very, very creative clothing that is by Fit for Art Patterns, which we do sell those, and we have Carrie and we have Rae. So you guys, I've not always been a quilter. I'm sure you don't believe this, but my background is actually in fashion design. I spent 4 years designing clothes in a little small southern college. Not near any fashion center of the universe, so it's a little jaded there. But so I do have an idea of what it is to sew garments. I haven't done it in a long time because one of the things that I have to do is I have to take my measurements. No, don't like that idea. So it's kind of like going to the doctors and getting weighed. But anyway, and every pattern that you get, you have to measure it and you have to make sure it's going to fit. And ideally you should make a muslin. See, I have forgotten some of those terminologies. And I just, don't want to do it. But now, as I get older, I want to have more creative clothing. So I think, I think you guys are flipping brilliant because you have simplified the things that make me frustrated about sewing clothing. They have a whole line of patterns that work around, and I'll let Rae and Carrie tell you a little bit more about it, but I might sew clothing again because of these patterns. That's how phenomenal they are. And I know a lot of you have them. You know that you've used them. Once you fit one, it fits everything. It's just phenomenal. So girls.
All right. So we have what we call 3 core patterns that you can build an entire wardrobe off of. And what we're going to show you today are a bunch of vests that are based on our core jacket pattern. So one of the special things about the jacket and the core knit top is that they have what we call a square armhole, which is super easy construction and easy to fit. So you can really see that on this vest, and Rae is showing you how with the jacket sleeve it comes in to a side panel, and that makes the construction easy because you then just put that little side unit in the front and back in one continuous seam, and it gives you lots of spaces for great embellishments. But so we had a lot of fun playing with some of Judy's fabrics and made her this adorable vest that she has from these ikats in the store that I bet came from your trip to India.
They did.
Yes.
I picked them out in India. So when I was there, they're a really nice, lightweight woven ikat that is from India, and of course my favorite colors. So you can see.
So you can see that the jacket without the sleeve makes this great vest with the square armhole, which is really loose and comfy.
Yes.
And it is super fast construction because you're not even dealing with a sleeve. So I love vests. I've made a bunch of vests. Rae has made some vests, and we have some here today to show you and hopefully inspire you to want to make your own.
Right.
Do you want to tell her a little bit more about Judy's? What's special about Judy's vest?
So Judy's vest, we created, this is the Special Artistic Artifacts vest, and we have a blog post about it on our website. So, and they have a kit, a beautiful kit that's all put together with the interfacing you need, because the interfacing is one of the things that really makes this vest work, since the fabric is so super lightweight with 2 different colorways, the black and silver, which I might have to take home for myself, and the beautiful turquoise and purple group here. And there's 1 piece of cotton, which is used just in the flat piping and as the facings. So the interfaced flat piping is what gives this high-low hemline and the shoulders, the structure, to be a really successful vest. The fabric is so light and airy. that by using that cotton and the interfacing, you get the structure you need for the vest to sit on the body, and it does, doesn't it? It's very comfortable. It doesn't move around. And the cotton at the hemline adds a little bit of weight. So it doesn't pull up when you're moving or walking. It really stays where you want it to be. This high-low hemline is a change from our actual pattern. It has a straight hemline all the way around.
So should we show a few of those first, and then we can come back to that?
And we can, if we have time at the end, we'll show you that pattern work. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So this is a great sample of the basic vest with no alterations at all. It's got, you can see your square armhole here, and all we do is bind off the top of that side panel before we put it in between the front and the back. A lot of you, I bet, are quilters, and you know all about how to bind things. So that's a pretty easy step. And then this front kimono style band is what's also in the basic pattern and is what's on Judy's vest. And then this one also features just that little bit of embellishment.
And that flat piping is described, and the instruction for it in the actual basic pattern book. This is the basic pattern where you get your good fit, and you might want to make a muslin. And you use the different pieces we have. We have 2 different fronts depending on your bust size, and 2 different side panels depending on the sort of configuration of your hips. You choose those pattern pieces, and if you do this little bit of lines, it will tell you what you need to do. And lots of fit stuff, helpful hints, website. We don't have to focus on that today.
No, but there are lots of resources on our website. So, and then to finish the vest off is a binding around the armhole. There are a couple of different ways to do that. And so we have written up a free download that's available on our website that walks you through, I don't think that's going to stay, steps of turning your jacket pattern into a vest. And it's got some links right in that free download if you're looking at it online to go look at several blog posts on our website there where we've written about making different vests. So you can find it there. I think it'll be up. The link will also be up on the Artistic Artifacts page when you go to look at the patterns there. So easy to find.
Right. And here's another basic vest. This one's been made in wool boucle, and it is lined. And there is a great blog post about lining the vest. So that you certainly would want to line your wool boucle. It always needs to be cared for. But this is just a fun, almost a throwback to when I was in junior high. Actually, these buttons came from something I had then that I saved into my button box. So,
button box,
yes, Rae has a great stash of buttons that I frequently visit.
We love buttons.
We do.
That's right.
So then the other fun variation for the vest that we've used a lot is what we call the swing variation. So Judy referenced the fact that we have one core pattern that you get to fit you right, as Rae was saying, and you use your mock-up. And then the variations give you additional pattern pieces to change up the style. So both of these vests feature what we call the swing side, which is nice with soft drapey fabrics. And it creates a different kind of high-low hemline where it's longer at the sides
super
than
flattering
in the front and back, and is really flattering on many people. And this also shows you the other way of finishing off that armhole. If you don't want to show a big piece of contrast fabric or something, you can just put the binding on the inside and it just disappears, and it also sets the vest in edge of the vest a little higher on your shoulder.
That's right. Yeah.
So all those directions are in.
So these vests here, these 4 here, you did not adjust the neckline to them. You mostly were using the side piece where your sleeve is.
So the neck, you'll see the bands vary in width, and that's something we give you permission to do all of the time. So Carrie is wearing one that's been adjusted with our rain or shine variation, which is this center front opening. And this one, I think, also has the rain or shine variation. So this is a cotton ikat, very similar to the things Judy sells.
Right.
This in my hand is a batik, a rayon batik, very luxurious and fun, with a little basic rayon trim. Yes.
And the facings, you can see the facing.
Right. And we were working with some scraps here, so Carrie very creatively offset some and added this fabulous little pocket, which is in our pocket variation pattern. So all kinds of fun, different ways to do up. This one here has our jean jacket variations, and Carrie made that with her husband's old blue jeans, cut up 2 or 3 pairs of blue jeans.
Yes. That was a fun project.
Create that one.
I wrote a big blog post about that.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yes.
And then we have some band variations over there on the vest in the.
So this has a wider band.
Right.
It's kind of like a shawl collar.
We call it the faux shawl collar.
I'll remember that one.
And you can do it. You can do it on the jacket, but it's also great on the vest.
Right. And I have on a band variation too. I have the split band on my jacket so that I could get the big button, to come through and show here when it's buttoned.
Oh, very cool.
So, and also it's a great thing when you don't have quite enough fabric. This was a very tiny piece of fabric, so I had to break the band. So I chose to break it in a place that I could do it decoratively and support the big button that I had to use.
And the other thing that you see is that your vests are shorter, and depending on how tall you are, a lot of times petites, which we're petite, the things that are in the clothing store is for someone who is much taller than us.
That's right.
So you can adjust that length to fit your comfort level of being a petite. So
right. Yes. And this needed to be short anyway, because these are my woodblock jeans.
Noticed.
I don't know if you can see those. Or come over here and let you see these terrific jeans that I painted here at Artistic Artifacts in a class to get the fun black woodblock printing on my upcycled jeans. Very tired jeans. They needed a little bit of a lift. Okay. So Judy's put some pretty fabrics here that would be a great vest. These Boro pieces here, I think, are in your stash.
Yep.
Cantha cloth, yes.
And there's a couple of different colorways. We actually sourced those through an American manufacturer, and they are currently 25% off. Our collection of Indian fabrics, which we have a little bit of Cantha in there, is a whole separate category. So not to confuse you.
But all the garment fabrics are on sale right now, right?
All the fabrics are on sale. 25% off until the next newsletter on Wednesday. So cotton lawns, knits, the Canthas. We have Robert Kaufman Essex. So those are all quite.
So, and we hope that the variety of vests that we brought today will help you envision how many different fabrics you can make this basic jacket or vest out of. She wants to see, is this the right one?
Yes, that's the right one.
So, Rae made this one, I think, with a washed wool.
So these are all washed wools. So they were leftover wools in my stash that I threw in the washing machine on a super hot wash with detergent. You have to put the detergent in, and a long wash. No delicate here, girls. Just beat it up in the washing machine, and then throw it in the dryer on super hot, and it will sort of full. It's like felt, but it's not exactly like felt. And because you have this fulled fabric, it does not fray very much when you use it. And so you use a different seam, and all of this is in our tips book for hand woven and handcrafted fabrics. It talks about these seam finishes, and you can see that they're not regular seams, they're actually lapped seams. So you're not getting the thickness of those seam allowances being pressed open on the inside. Makes a really clean, easy finish. And I have put a little bit of zigzag here on the hems, but you don't have to. And the bindings are selvages.
I was going to say, this is a great sample that shows you that we often use a
the
selvage
right.
for a band if you don't want the weight of this
fold over.
Yeah,
right.
this one that's a piece folded over. And this is also a selvage from a beautiful piece of silk.
Silk ikat, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that gorgeous? And I had just a tiny scrap, but I was looking to use this old piece of kimono with, and it worked out perfectly.
Right.
That's gorgeous.
Right. You should swing her around so they can see
So they
the
can
back
see
of that terrific
there's
vest
one other,
too.
a little bit more.
There wasn't quite enough kimono fabric to do a complete back, so.
Well, and I really wanted to feature the blue
leaves.
leaves and get rid of some of the
What a
browner
gorgeous
leaves.
Mustard stuff. Yeah.
So I cut it and pieced it to get as much of the blue in as I could. But
So because our pattern pieces are so, they're modular, they're not exactly modular because they're designed to really fit a woman's body well, which most modular patterns aren't. But they give the appearance of a modular look, and so that allows you to do these piecings. This is another piecing where the back and front have both been divided along the grain line of the pattern, and it gives you a place to use a variety of different fabrics, and also then so they're just
and if you're a quilter, those kind of very straight seams make it easy to divide and piece our pattern for a jacket or a quilted vest.
Right.
And that's a fun way to use a lot of pieces of fabric.
This one in particular, it looks like everything's been pieced, but the side panel is just one piece of fabric that's been quilted. The piecing is just in the fronts and backs, and we often do that in our quilted jackets. And we have a tips book also about the quilted jackets, and it gives you lots of and blog posts. There's a blog post about that one. Yeah. Many of these we've written blogs on. You can search our blog by topic. So you can go into the blog, follow the blog tab at fitforartpatterns.com, and you will see a category of vests, and you can just click in there and look at all the different vests that we have.
Or search by term.
Search by term, yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Will it search by type of fabric?
We don't
I think it will search the text. So
yes, there is a search bar where you can put the text.
In the text,
that's correct.
I think it would find it. Yeah.
Right. Right.
All right. We want to see that black one behind you. The white.
Oh, that's coming soon.
Right.
Okay.
This is a bit of a tease. This is one of
awesome.
the jacket variations that we're working on that will have a more asymmetrical front. But this was a piece of, what do you call it?
Double-faced cotton.
Double-faced cotton from Japan.
Right.
So I made a completely reversible vest with it. And I had, I think, just a couple different kinds. Yeah. And I put this cute little pleat, which is from one of our other variations. So once you've got the pattern to fit you, and you get a few variations, you can mix and match and play and have all kinds of fun with it.
That's right.
So that is a fun thing to look forward to.
Right.
A blog post?
Not yet.
Not yet. These are little teasers.
Not until the pattern comes out.
When you see us in an event like this, we show you what we're working on, but we're not always ready. And so I'm going to actually bring us back to Judy's vest and show you the pattern work that you have to do. We'll do this real quick, and it's in the blog post that I just wrote about her vest. But you can see here that I have extended the hemline on the fronts, the side, and the back to get that graceful hem that she has. That's the high-low.
This is the pattern line.
Yes, the pattern line is the lower line here.
And then you added this piece.
And then I added that. This one I also added below. This one starts on that line and then curves up.
Okay.
So that you're getting that graceful hemline. Now, these graceful hemlines look beautiful if they're finished in a lovely way, and that's why we want you to do the facing, which you see there, which gives it a really nice weight and structure, at the bottom of the hem.
It really makes a difference in how it wears.
Right.
It doesn't ride
And
up.
so you just take your pattern and create these pieces off of it. You see, I just traced off the pattern, and you get your facings, and then you face that hemline for both support, and because it just lets that curve be continuous and beautiful.
Yeah,
The
it's
other
very hard to turn up a hem on a
That's
curve.
right. That's right. And so you clip it and press it nicely, and you get this really lovely weighted finish at the bottom of the hem. The other pattern work you'll do, which is described in the basic pattern, is you'll make these little supports. We call them a facing, but not technically a facing, that go inside the vest so that you have that support up in the shoulder area too. And Judy's going to give you a little. There's a picture in the on the blog post of how it goes in, and you just put that in after you've sewn the shoulder seams of the jacket, of the vest, and the and you just put that into the into it, so that again you get that support up in the area of the garment that really needs to have some shaping to it. So that is all of the pattern work you have to do to get your pattern ready to create your terrific Artistic Artifacts vest, which we love.
Did you adjust the pattern in any way for Judy?
I
other
did.
than him?
I did. We had a fitting event here about, I don't know.
We've so lost track of time.
Before the pandemic, we had a fitting event here. And we did a fitting on Judy using our mock-ups. We have a whole set of these that we put on people when we do personal appearances, which we don't do now. So you can find the size you need by, as Judy suggested, taking just a bust and a hip measurement. That's all you have to take, comparing it to the pattern, and choosing the pieces you want.
So there's a chart, like all patterns, on
That's
the back
right.
that gives you the measurements.
Right.
Will help guide your choice of which size, and then there's text in the book about how to decide which front, whether you want for the bust, and which of those side panels for a basic jacket.
And I think I kind of have sloping shoulders, which I know I have those, and I think there was just a smidge in there, and that was it. There was...
I added a little bit in the hip line for Judy also, but we won't make a big deal about that.
You have to bring
in the back. But otherwise, no, I did not. I had my notes, and I just took the pattern out. And if you were here at that event, or if you've seen us at a show and have those directions, they will really walk you through in hand with the common fitting adjustments on the website. You can do your own pattern work, and then you will be ready to go. And if you want, you can add this high-low hemline to any of our jackets. So if you wanted a quilted jacket with that hemline, you could do that. If you wanted a shorter jacket with that hemline, you would use the same technique. You would just identify where you wanted the hem, create the slope, and I've given you the numbers in the blog post that we wrote about how many inches you want to go down at each position in order for them to come together nicely around the bottom. I think it's a great little little design technique, and sometimes we have garments that fit us with a high-low hemline. Not those of us who are busty, not because it was designed that way, but because the garment is hanging that way. In this case, it's a design decision that you're going to put that hemline on because the garment fits really well everywhere else, and that keeps it from shifting around, which is something we think is one of the benefits of our pattern. Plus, they're just so easy to put together.
Yes, they are easy to put together, but so I just wanted to emphasize that Rae mentioned something called the common fitting adjustments for the Tabula Rasa jacket. And that is a PDF on our website that, again, you can find the link to from the Jacket Help page, where we have a whole bunch of resources. And it walks you through some of the most typical fitting issues for this pattern. And then there's also video tutorials where Rae demonstrates how to do the pattern work for several of those common fitting adjustments. So we really try to help you get that perfect fit, so then you're freed up to do the creative stuff.
Right.
You have simplified it. It's just, as I said, I think you guys are brilliant. I am just thrilled.
I'm going to show you a couple of features that we have in some of these other vests you haven't looked at as we finish up. So this is a raw edge collage piece. This with a little uneven hemline. We haven't written about this, but we might have to.
Yeah.
And you do the collage work before you put it together so you can work on a nice flat surface and get everything the way you want. Some of these techniques we have also blogged about, so you can read how to do them, and just a way to make your garments look a little bit more interesting, just a little bit more fanciful. I love a print, but I don't always want it everywhere. So the collage really gives me that opportunity to create a scene. I love to make a scene without, and then here we have a vest. This is that same swing side vest, but this uses the rolled edge seam technique. And we use this a good bit on lightweight and sheer fabrics. And the seams are on the outside, and then they're finished with the rolled edge on your serger, so that you're getting a little sort of a definition between pieces, but you also don't have to worry about how the seams are going to be finished or anything like that. So it's really a nice way to do that and put that rolled edge in. And we use it sometimes. We don't have any with us today, but sometimes when we divide up the pieces, like you saw here, on the wool, the right technique is to do that lapped seam. But if you were using a sheer or a really drapey fabric, this would be a really good choice as
we've
your
also
seam.
done it quite a bit with some lightweight cotton.
Lightweight cotton, cotton lawn is beautiful with that technique.
A good way to practice it before you get into those slippery fabrics.
Exactly.
Yeah. And all these vests, I believe, and quite a lot of other garment samples are all on our website in our photo gallery. If you want to go back and see it a little closer up, you can find it there.
Right.
There's one question. Do you sell your samples?
We do not.
We wear our
We wear our samples. They're made in our sizes, and we generally are wearing them. Yes, right. We are here to empower you to sew some for yourself. We hope that you will do that, and you will be inspired by some of the things that we've been able to show you this morning to make your own vest. I highly recommend these kits. It's so good. This time of where we are right now, where we can't really get out and do a lot of shopping, it's so nice to just get the whole product all in one little package, and it's ready to go. And we've included that interfacing, so your band and your facings and the pattern, and so you'll be really looking good for hanging around the house, going to the grocery store, wherever it is that you are spending your time these days. A great Zoom look.
One more question. Do you recommend any specific dress form?
So dress forms, I think, are a complicated topic. I do think the girl who does the ditto forms, where they actually scan your body and then create a form from the body scan, is a good one. And then there are, you can buy, this is a Dritz form, and you can buy these and actually pad them out. And I think Pamela Leggett has some information on how to do that on her website. But you can create a form. If you're going to use a form, you really want to make it resemble your body. So you can take one of your bras and put on it and stuff it, and make sure if your hips are fuller than the mannequin, you can change that out so that you have But nothing tells you the fit better than your own body, the fabric on your body. So I would say you don't really necessarily need to invest in dress form, though they're good for design purposes, and you can do some fitting on them. But really, it's you and the body and the cloth that tell whether it feels and looks right or not. And Judy is happy with her fit, I'm telling you right now.
I'm thrilled. Absolutely thrilled.
Right, exactly. All right, other questions?
Okay.
Good.
Well, thanks for
Yes,
listening to us.
thanks for being with us this morning.
We hope you'll visit our site and visit Artistic Artifacts to get your kit.
Right.
Started.
Sounds
Right.
good. We'll get you sewing. Thank you so
Right.
much. Follow us on Facebook,
Right.
Instagram, Pinterest. Our website is artisticartifacts.com, and you can always reach us via email or phone. And we do have a store that's opened limited hours by appointment. That is information also on our website. So we look forward to seeing you in person or virtually. And thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
Bye.
So successfully with Fit for Art Patterns at fitforartpatterns.com.
There you go.